Hi everybody, I'm Lori Michael Fitness, specializing in senior fitness in the home. This month we'd like to talk to you a little bit about osteoporosis and some of the things to avoid and some of the exercises to do as modifications. So with the help of my friend Kim, I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that are very common, and so here we go.
You want to be very careful with your spine when you're doing exercises that might cause you to flex the spine in a forward position. So an example of that would be leaning over as though you want to touch your toes in order to stretch the back of your thighs, which is called your hamstring. You can see that roundness in the spine. That's a lot of pressure being put on the spine, and it can cause not only little fractures in your spine with osteoporosis, but also it's not good for the discs in your back either. Here's an alternative to that. You can still lean forward, but you want to keep your back very straight. So we're not going to try to go as low. But Lori has her hands on her thighs, and the hands on the thighs is supporting her back because not everybody's strong enough to hold this position in a nice neutral posture. So with the hands supporting you, you're still feeling the pull in the back of your thighs. You feel your hamstrings, Lori? Mm-hmm. You can also do the same thing sitting down in a chair. Okay, nice.
And I'm also stretching my calves as well. Your calves can get very tight.
Okay, so here's some things to avoid in some common, what we call core or abdominal exercises. The basic sit-up. And Lori's going to demonstrate that now. And back down. Very bad on the back. Again, can cause little micro breaks, fractures in your spine, and it's also not good at all for the discs. Here's another one to avoid is that full crunch where you're crunching from your upper body and your lower body. So watch as Lori pulls in, and she's putting weight down on her low back. She's flexing her low back. You can also, there's machines in athletic clubs and gyms where you're doing that crunching motion. The same thing, even though it's a machine, doesn't make it good. When you're rounding your spine, flexing your spine, that's what we want to avoid. Okay, so here's an idea of a great exercises to work the core without flexing the spine. Take one leg straight out, one knee stays bent. Your hands are behind your head and in your neutral posture, so your pelvis is weighted, your ribs are weighted, but your waist is slightly lifted. You're going to pull straight up so your shoulder blades leave the floor, the back of your shoulders leave the floor, but you're not really crunching in. You're thinking about lifting up, and as you lift up, you draw your belly in towards your spine without pushing your spine down. Here's a challenge. If you want a little bit more than that, bring your straight leg about 2 or 3 inches off the floor. Hold it there, which means you need more of a grip inside your torso, more of a bracing, and then lift and lower. The leg stays up. We're not pressing the waist down at all. We're keeping it still. The leg stays up. And are you feeling that work, Lori? Mm-hmm. And you do maybe 10 of those, take a break, and switch legs.
Here's an added bonus. So, I'm going to go back to my other leg for a moment. So my leg is a little bit lifted off the ground, so the pull of gravity is there. And if I'm pretty sturdy and I can do this well, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you lift your other foot off the ground to tabletop, and you do the same thing.
Really pulling the belly in when you do this. It's not just about the movement, it's about activating your deep core by pulling in.
So I hope you learned a couple of things, and this would also apply to not only those with osteoporosis, but osteopenia. So enjoy, be careful, and we'll see you next month.